Hey friends, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to the Board Game Garden, and welcome to a how to play video of this game right here. This is Prowl, Clans, and Cunning. It is published by Playlogue Creations, who's helping sponsor today's video, and it's designed by Russell Wee. And this is a card game that takes about 15 to 25 minutes. It is for ages 14 plus and plays 2 to 5 players. So if you guys are wanting to hear all about Prowl, Clans, and Cunning, then just keep on watching, give this video a big thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into exactly how Prowl, Clans, and Cunning is played. Now I'm going to be doing this how to play a little bit differently than my ones in the past. Typically, I just show B-roll and do a voiceover, but I think I'm going to be switching over to kind of doing more of a hands-on teach for these kind of games and just for games going forward on the channel. I really enjoy this type of how to play where you're actually seeing the person setting it up and you're actually seeing, me chat about it here in person, face-to-face like this. So yes, without further ado, we're going to quickly get into the setup of Prowl, Clans, and Cunning. So quickly, actually, before I do that, I'm going to read the back of the box just to give you guys a little bit of an aim of the game and kind of the vibes of the game. So Prowl, Clans, and Cunning, the clans grow restless and the empire teeters on the brink of collapse. As the clans jostle for power, maneuver them against each other so that yours rises to the very top. In Prowl, you will manipulate a motley cast of animals to secure your place as the true power behind the throne. Use their abilities, shift your allegiances, and accuse other players, all to ensure that when the dust settles, you reign the uncontested. So that is Prowl, Clans, and Cunning. It is a quick card game of trying to get your chosen clan, your secret chosen clan, at the top by the end of the game by playing down cards and kind of changing up things and doing different things in order to really get your clan to the top by the end of the game. So to start off the game, we're going to take the 4 clans here. So there are 4 different clans. There is, I believe, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So all 4 of these seasons here. You're going to shuffle up these clans and then you are going to place them into a column or a row. So we're just going to randomly place them like this. So you have one at the top, one second, one third, and one at the bottom. So this is going to be the starting kind of rankings of the clans. And then each player is going to gain one of these card references. So you have all of the different icons on the front. Then you also have kind of how your turn is going to be played out on the back. This plays, like I mentioned, 2 to 5. So there are 5 of these, but we are just going to do 4 for this game here. Each player will get one of those, and then the other one will go back into the box. You will then take all of the different cards. So these are all the 4 different clans, and each clan is going to have 8 different cards, and then one of them actually being the leader of the clan. So you guys can see here in the top left-hand corner, there is either going to be a yellow border or there's going to be a red border. If you have a red bordered character, that means that that is that specific clan's kind of leader, and they will have a pretty powerful power, but you're going to shuffle up all 4 of the clans together, and each player is going to start the game with 6 cards. Once you have dealt out 6 cards to each player, the remaining cards will go back into the box. And then lastly, for setup, you're going to take this dominance token. The dominance token at the start of the game represents the starting player, but then as you play the game, you will be able to gain the dominance token. And ultimately, if there are any ties at the end of the game for, let's say, the top clan or anything like that, if you're the player with the dominance token, that is a tiebreaker. So I will get into a little bit more of that, but you want to have the dominance token if you feel like you're going to tie with someone else for the top clan. So This will go to the youngest player, so let's just say that is this player here. So that player will be the starting player. So to start off the game, before you start doing anything, each player will take a look at their starting hand. So like I mentioned, each player will begin the game with 6 cards, 6 random cards, and the players are going to look at those 6 cards and then actually pick one of those 6 cards, place it face down in front of them, not showing any other player, and that will be their chosen clan. So I will mention throughout the game, you can decide to switch out your clan if you feel like the rankings have kind of changed and you want to change your allegiance. You can do that throughout the game, but to start off the game, each player will pick 1 card from their hand, place it face down without showing any other player, and that will be their clan that they're choosing and hoping to be at the top by the end of the game. So for example here, I might decide this player has 3 reds in their hand, so they know that they have some power with the red clan or the autumn clan. So we are going to decide to take this red card. Obviously we would not show this to any other player, but we would take this red card, we would place it in front of us face down, and then we now have 5 cards to play out the game. So once each player has chosen their clan and placed it face down in front of them, you would then get into playing the game, and each player will start with 5 cards in their hand. And then once every player has no cards left in their hand, that would be the end of the game. You would see whatever clan is at the top, and whoever chose that clan, you would all flip over your face down clans, whoever chose that clan would ultimately be the winner. But if there is a tie for a clan, if the tied players, if one of them had the dominance token, that player would be the winner. But if the tied players that both had the highest clan, neither of them had the dominance token, that clan actually falls to the bottom, and whatever person is now in the lead with the next highest clan would be the winner. So now with the win condition out of the way, let's get into exactly how the game plays and what you will be doing on your turn. The first thing you can do is simply playing a card from your hand. The second thing is changing your allegiance or the clan that you decided at the beginning of the game, or you can decide to accuse another player. So let's get into the first option, which is playing a card from your hand. So when playing a card from your hand, you will simply choose one of the cards from your hand. You'll place it in front of you, and the 2 things that you're going to do is whatever the clan is that is associated with that card. So in this example, that would be the yellow clan or the summer clan. You would raise that clan once, or strength, give that clan 1 strength, and then you would perform the action on the card. These are both mandatory, you have to do both of them, but you can do them in any order. So you can decide to do the action on the card first and then raise the clan strength, or you can do it in the opposite way. But there are a few different icons that you will need to know on the cards. So some of the cards simply just don't have any icons and you can just use them at any time. These all have icons, but some cards just simply have no icon and you just do the action that is on it. But there are a few other icons. The first icon that you're going to see is an arrow pointing down, and that is an attachment. So this is going to be a card that you're going to have in front of you. It's kind of going to be added into a tableau, and it's going to give you some sort of ongoing ability or some sort of ability that when this happens, do this, then discard this card, something like that. But you're going to be placing it down in front of you, and then something is going to happen in the future, or it's going to be some sort of ongoing ability. The next one is going to be a lightning bolt. So a lightning bolt is going to be a swift action, and this must be played in your first 4 turns. So this cannot be the last card that you play. So if you do decide to play a swift card for your last card, or it's going to be like the last one that you play during the game, that action is just not going to happen. So you must decide to use these earlier on in the game so you can use their action. So that is the lightning bolt and that is the swift action. You also then have a little snail icon, and these are going to be the opposite of a swift, and these are going to be a slow action. So this is actually a card that you must play for your last action. So you have to hold on to this until it's your last card. So those are the three main symbols that you're going to be seeing on the cards. You may also see the dominance token on cards. That might be that if you already have the dominance token, something's going to happen, or if you do not have the dominance token, you can claim the dominance token with that card. But there are also a few other keywords that you might see on the cards. The first one, and the only one that I don't think you already know of, is peek. So if you ever see the keyword peek, that means that you can choose another player. You can peek at their clan that they have chosen, and then you have to place it back down without showing any other player, and you are not allowed to give information to any other players. So that is the only different keyword that you will see, but there's also the keyword of play, change, and accuse, which are the three main kind of actions that you're going to be playing, and they will just simply be activated by these cards. So there are a bunch of different actions that these cards are going to be performing, and those are going to be some of the keywords that you're going to see on the cards. But yes, that is the main action of deciding to play down one of your cards. Like I said, you will play down a card, you will change or increase the strength by one of that card's associated clan, and then you'll perform their action on their card, or you can do that in the opposite way. The next action that you can actually perform is the change action. So throughout the game, if you see that your initial clan that you chose is not doing too well and you want to actually change your allegiance with a clan, you can decide to do that on your turn. So you'll just look at the hand of cards that you have, and you do have to change your allegiance to one of the cards that you already have in your hand. So for example, this player here unfortunately cannot change their allegiance to the Summer clan or the Yellow clan because they have no yellows in their hand. So they might decide, I think green is doing really well. Actually, that's not a great example because they've already chosen green. But let's just say, you know, green's not doing too great and blue's at the top. So this player might decide, hey, I'm going to change my allegiance. You do have to discard your initial choice of clan face up in front of you. I will say whenever you are discarding a card, you have to discard it face up in front of you unless a card says otherwise, but you do have to discard it into a face up discard pile. Every player is going to have a face up discard pile, and that is just so players can kind of see what you have played thus far and do a little bit of deducing and figuring out maybe what clan you have decided on. But with the change action, you do have to discard your initial clan face up, and then you're going to take one of the cards from your hand and place that face down in front of you as your new clan that you've chosen or your new allegiance. And I will say, to kind of mess over the other players or confuse the other players, you could actually decide to discard your chosen clan and then choose the exact same clan and place it down. Just so maybe the other players or your opponents might say, hey, they've changed from green to another color, but really, you could have just changed from green to green. So that is the change action. You would simply just discard your initial chosen clan face up and then choose a new one from your hand. And then the last thing that you can choose to do on your turn is accuse another player. So you can decide on your turn, hey, I think I know what clan that player is going for. So what you can do on your turn is you're going to look at your hand of cards. You're simply just going to discard one of your cards. It doesn't matter which card that is. And then you're going to point at a player and say one of the clans. So for example, this player could say, I think your clan is the Winter clan. So then this player would look at their card, and if it is successfully that clan, they do have to speak truthfully and say, yes, that is my clan. They would flip it over to show all players that the player that did accuse them was correct. And that player would then be able to choose one of two things. So the first thing is they can decide to take the dominance token. If they don't have the dominance token, they simply just gain it. But if they do already have the dominance token, they can actually raise one of the clans once. So they can raise that clan's strength. So this player, they are going for green. So they might decide, hey, I already have, let's say, the clan token. I'm going to raise the green clan. 1 spot. Another thing that player can do instead of taking the dominance token or already having the dominance token and raising one of the clans, they can decide to force the player that they accused to change their clan on their next turn. So this is something that that player has to do. This player, if that player did not decide to do that, this player will just continue to play the game with their clan face up, so everyone knows what clan this player has chosen, or that player can then force them to change their clan on the next round. And lastly, for the accuse action, if this player were to have gotten this player's clan wrong and they didn't actually have the blue, and let's say they had another color, they would actually be wrong, and this player would simply just look at their card, say no, and then nothing would happen, and it would go on to the next player. This play would continue, like I said, for 5 rounds until every player had no cards left in their hand. And then once every player was finished, you would look at the standings of the clans, and like I've already mentioned, the highest clan, whatever players, so every player would flip over their chosen clan, and whatever player had the highest clan would be the winner. So in this case, this player has chosen green, and they are actually the only player that chose green as their clan. So they would be the winner because green is at the top. But let's say, for an example, the blue was at the top. Both of these players has chosen blue, so it would be a tie, and this player actually has the dominance token. So this player would be the winner, but if neither of them had the dominance token, it would be a tie with blue. Unfortunately, that would mean that the blue clan would fall to the bottom, and then whoever had the next highest clan, that would be this green player again, they would win because they had the next clan, or the next highest clan. And that, everyone, is how to play Prowl, Clans, and Cunning. It is a quick, simple card game of trying to deceive your opponents and choose the correct clan, playing down cards, accusing your opponents, changing, being a little bit deceitful or decisive, and ultimately trying to get your clan to be the highest in power to take over the throne. So that is everything for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. We'd love to have you here in the garden. A huge thank you to Playload Creations for sponsoring today's video. I appreciate it very, very much. If you guys are playing this now, then I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. And yeah, definitely go and check out Prowl on crowdfunding. They will be having a crowdfunding campaign for this, whether that be now when you're watching this or a little bit later. I will put the date that it's starting right here. But yeah, definitely go and check it out if it's something that you were interested in. But yeah, love you guys so, so much. Remember, you are somebody's reason to smile, and I will see you in the next board game video. Bye, friends.